Philippe, please explain, what are the challenges in rural areas with regard to diagnostics?
Actually, we have developed the Melody concept, which you can see on our booth, which is a remote ultrasound system facing actually and bringing solution to this rural problem, which consists of lack of expertise in the villages in all this isolated area.
Please describe what exactly your system does.
Actually, the Melody system is made of two sides. The expert side, which is on my right-hand side, and the patient side on the left-hand side. It consists of placing actually a robotic arm on the patient side, for instance, in a village where there is a small medical center, but very basic small medical center without any expertise and any qualification. And on the other side, where there is a main hospital in a big city equipped with experts, for instance, like radiologists, they can master and direct the whole diagnosis solution at distance. And this is thanks to a video conferencing system, because they can visualize and talk with the patient and the medical assistant who is assisting actually the patient. On the other side, the expert will have full control of the ultrasound machine, which is located and situated on the patient side. He has the ability to control 100% of the setting and all the parameters of the ultrasound machine, and therefore run his diagnosis. And the third thing, which is important, the expert will have this dummy probe, which will be moving on his desk, and the robot will execute his order. And therefore, as you can see here, I'm moving this dummy probe, and the real probe, which is linked to the ultrasound machine, will execute exactly the movement I'm doing. Now, once I have explored, for instance, this area of the body, I will ask the medical assistant to move backwards or downwards in order to go and explore another area. Est-ce que tu peux le descendre, par exemple? For example, we would like to explore another area. Here, I have asked the medical assistant to ask the patient to lay on his side. The medical assistant will apply the robot holder. Once it's applied, I will carry on examining actually the patient. From the screen of the remote control here, which is a duplicata of the ultrasound machine, I will know exactly what is the problem which is going on with the patient, and can talk to the medical assistant and tell him exactly what medication this patient needs to take, or probably to ask him to drive 100, 200, 1,000 kilometers to the nearest hospital in order to be actually addressed properly in terms of healthcare service.
So your system basically consists of video conferencing, the ultrasound device, and the robot, right?
Exactly. These are the three components of the system which run in parallel. They are independent. The video conferencing system to keep visual and audio contact with the patient. The robotic arm, which is the Melody, that means the manipulation of the export in real time is done by the sonographer or the radiologist, which is very important. It's not just looking at a picture. You need the radiologist, unlike the X-ray examination, the radiologist needs to go back and forth to examine this organ. Probably he doesn't see properly the organ. Therefore, it is very important that this communication between him and the patient and have control on the probe to be permanent.
So that's for diagnostics, but also for second opinion, right?
Exactly. The application of Melody are various. This was the typical application applied to rural area where there is lack of expertise. But for instance, in some other developing country, they do have expertise, they do have radiologists, they can examine their patient, but sometimes they need a second opinion coming from a higher level actually, or more expertise. They need more expertise, and therefore the Melody solution will bring this second opinion actually to the local radiologist.
Can you give us a few more characteristics about the ultrasound machine?
The ultrasound machine, the Melody system can fit with any brand of the ultrasound machine. But if we use this specific brand, that will give the ability of having the control of the setting of the parameters of the ultrasound machine, because we developed our own software which we installed in the ultrasound machine, allows on a computer screen to do all the measurements by pushing on the button exactly if we were on the ultrasound machine.
So where all have you installed your system?
The system's been installed in France. We've been installing 30 units. They are up and running in France, and we have started export, and so far we installed 3 units, one in Canada, one in the French Guyana, which is in South America, and the third one in Cyprus in the Mediterranean. And we are focusing really to develop internationally, because we realize that there are a lot of countries and the problem is always the same. Everything is concentrated in the big cities, and still a big part of the population lives outside but lack of healthcare services.